Impala Platinum, it's the world's second largest platinum producer. It's got operations on the Bushveld Complex in South Africa and the Great Dyke in Zimbabwe. It has a market cap of 87 billion rand and a price to earnings ratio currently of 10. Implats announced today that refined platinum production fell by 46% in the 3 months to the end of March due in part to a 6-week illegal strike at its Rustenburg mine. Let's start with you, Paul. I mean, there's just been so much bad news that that many are saying is priced into the stock right now. I mean, has it been priced in, and are we going to continue to see the likes of Impala Platinum being plagued by issues like it has been in the first quarter?
Yeah, I don't think those issues are going away. So we know what they are. It's high electricity prices, which is an issue for them. It's safety-related stoppages, because these Section 54 stoppages where shafts are stopped down, where you have a fatality underground, are basically taking a big bite out of production time. It's labour relations generally. We know that the National Union of Mine Workers is losing ground to this new union called AMCU, which I don't know how that's going to unfold, but it looks pretty ugly in terms of hostile related violence and that sort of thing. Then there is the Zimbabwe issue for platinum, Impala, that is, where there's a fantastic resource, but thanks to, the government interventions there and uncertainty politically about indigenization, it looks as though, either production is going to be curtailed or at least expansion is going to be curtailed.
Well, certainly their equity has been curtailed, but they have said that they put a plan on the table to the Zimbabwean government that has been agreed in principle, and they're going to be giving up, if it looks like it, around 20% of their stake in the mine. Owen, what are your thoughts on Zimbabwe and the asset that they have there?
Look, basically it's been a very challenging one over the past couple of months for Implats, and I think that quite a big discount on the share price has come through over the past years, basically because they've been involved in Zimbabwe, and there's been no certainty as to how much is going to be taken from them, whether or not their plan was good enough. And you did see the stock recover a little bit when the deal was agreed with the Zim government. But the challenge remains that, we don't know how the government is going to pay for the stake. Will there still be some more tussles around what the government has to pay Implats? Will Implats be happy? Will the shareholders walk out happy out of this transaction?
Will the government come back to get the full majority? Because at this point in time, it's not meeting that majority requirement of the indigenization law.
You know what they say in the streets, this is Africa, anything can happen, and we don't need to even go into the Zim government's treatment of all these foreign businesses, but hey, let's just wait and see what happens. But one thing I've always maintained is that if the Zim picture gets better, if it improves, maybe in the next 5 or 10 or even 20 years, Implats has got quite a very nice asset in the Great Dyke region. So I think it's one name that's, and remember as well, most analysts don't value the Zim assets at the moment, and once the valuation does kick in, Implats is going to have a nice little premium from where it's trading at the moment.
And they are investing in that asset. That's certainly something in terms of the quality of the asset that the outgoing CEO has pointed out. So let's look at the stock, hot or not right now.
Jesus, I think it's definitely these levels for the long term. I think it's a good buy. You're looking at these names trading at very depressed price to book levels. Even the price to earnings ratios are very attractive in my view. But then it's also a question of where the world is going to be in 2 years in terms of this whole debt situation in Europe. Short term, we have seen the stock pull back all the way to 133. I'll be above the stock around those levels, but at this stage I think it's for the short term trades, it's ticked up through 140, and I expect guys are going to come in and sell it in the absence of good Greek resolution.
Short-term sell-off, but a long-term buy.
Yes.
Below 140. Paul, where do you stand on this?
Look, I'm positive about the global outlook, and I'm positive about the platinum price, because I think auto sales are going to be strong. However, I think the 10 PE is not depressed. I think that's normalized. I think the period where it had a 15 and 20 PE back in 2008 was a period of irrational exuberance. So I think you can't expect much from the stock. I think the Zimbabwe thing is a write-off. I think until such time as there's a regime change in Zimbabwe, there's going to be no value attached to any corporate assets up there. And I think the Implats management would be foolish to commit serious capital up there, because you never know if you're going to get a return on it. Having said that, regime change sounds very glamorous and exciting, but, it can mean different things at different times. They thought they were going to get a regime change in Egypt, and they're not. They're just getting more of the same nonsense. So I am not that hot on Impala at the moment, but I can see also the long-term attractions in the sector. If you're
so you're going to have to go with a no.
Not hot, no.
Not hot.